I went to Tanzania. Tanzania is one of the most beautiful places to travel as a black person because all the white people in Tanzania speak Swahili. It was the deepest moment I'd ever experienced in my life. Do you know what I mean? Do you speak Xhosa? Do you speak Sotho? Every single white person in Tanzania spoke Swahili. It was the deepest thing I'd ever experienced. And the thing is, this is the first time that I'd ever flown business class in my entire life. But I didn't know this because I get onto the flight, they take my ticket, and they say, you're sitting over there. And as I looked there, I was just like, I get to my seat. I'm sitting on my seat. There's so much space in there that the person who's sitting next to me, she's over there. She's over there, but she's next to me, right? But she's over there. So I sit down, and now there's all these buttons, and there's a hell of a lot of stuff going on. And the problem is, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you've never been in that experience before, you've got two options. You pretend like you've been living this life, or you just put up your hand politely and say, excuse, I have no idea what the fuck is going on. Can you just guide me through the process? But now the problem is, when you fly Air Kenya, right? Kenya Airways, you look at the front, they have this emblem, and it says Kenya Airways, the pride of Africa. And my pride kicked in. So I pretended, right? But now when you're pretending, you need a reference, right? So there's this guy sitting next to me, and I used him as a point of reference. And I was like, whatever he does, I'll do, right? So he sits down, I sit down. He takes off his shoes. I'm like, fuck, I didn't even know we could do that. He puts his feet up, I put my feet up. He then presses a button, his TV goes on. I press a button, my seat starts to recline. I'm like, yes, 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 yes. He calls the waitress gives him a blanket. I call the same waitress, she gives me a blanket. He then presses another button, his seat starts to recline. I'm like, I'm already there, motherfucker. Then he does this move, he's sitting next to the woman next to him, he puts his hand on her thigh. She gives him a kiss on the cheek. I'm like, this is service. Nah, she smacked me. Now they give us the menu. And that was the first time I ever had a menu on a flight. So I look at the menu and I'm like, okay, cool. All right, this is dope. I order my food. And the crazy thing about it is that the portions were really big. You know, usually when you're like, in a special place, like a 5-star place, you pay this much and you get this little, right? I was in Cape Town once and I asked them, why is it when I pay so much, they give me this little? And they looked at me and they said, small portions are a sign of sophistication. I was like, hey. If that's true, I have the most sophisticated penis in this room. You know what I mean? She like that. Just a little tic-tac there, hey? Nah, I'm joking. That's very dirty. But I realized, like, the one thing is when you travel is that most people haven't quite understood the term coconut, right? Because what it actually means to be a coconut is that you're a person of color who thinks in English. That's it. It doesn't mean that you've given up on your culture. It doesn't mean that you don't care. It just means that you're a person of color who thinks in English. That's it. The first time I realized this, right? And like, no, honestly, because people think in different languages. Do you know what I'm saying? I made the mistake once of fucking that up because I was in Thailand. And I'm chilling in Thailand and I'm walking down this alleyway, and out of this alleyway I see this guy coming on his bike. He had a Harley-Davidson Sportster Iron 883. So I shout, yo dude, that's a nice bike. I've got the same bike in Cape Town, right? What I didn't realize is that this guy thinks in Thai. So all he heard was, yo dude, that's the nice bike. That's time to pop the PayPal. Which must have been the most, no, honestly, it must have been the most offensive thing that he'd ever heard, because he gets off his bike and then next minute there's chains, there's a whole bunch of other bikers, they start chasing us. This is a true story, a proper Thai bike gang is chasing us. We got out of that situation. I said to myself, I will never, ever, ever, ever make the mistake of realizing that sometimes people think in different languages. I get back to South Africa. I'm chilling at Melrose Arch. I'm at Melrose Arch. This is in 2015. I'm chilling at Melrose Arch. And who do I see having dinner? It's Oscar Pistorius and Reeva Steenkamp. I'm a huge fan. Because as you can see, I also happen to be less able than other people, right? So I go up to him and I say to him, yo, dude, I'm a really big fan. My name is Mamzy. How you doing? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm Oscar, obviously, and this is Riva. And when you see Riva face to face, she's one of the most beautiful people you ever see in your entire life. I looked at Riva's face, and I turned to Oscar, and I was like, dude, she is so beautiful. If I were you, I would just take her home and skeet, skeet, skeet. I forgot that he thinks in Afrikaans. Do you know what I'm saying? No, what do you mean too soon? Niggas been in jail. What are you talking about? No, look, okay, no, honest, okay, I'll stop. Okay, I know, guys, I'm so sorry. Okay, I get it, okay? There are a lot of tasteless Oscar Pistorius jokes out there, okay? And here's another one, right? But it involves audience participation, so I need you guys to help me out. Okay, knock, knock. I'm sorry, no, that's a bad joke. I'm sorry, no, that's a rotten joke. I'm sorry. I feel bad about that joke. I'll tell you this though, in Oscar Pistorius' defense, I don't think that Oscar Pistorius would have ever gone to jail if he had a different accent. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we all watched the court case. There's Oscar in jail, like in the court case, and he's like, I'll put it to you, my lady. I was lying in bed, my lady. I heard these noises. I thought to myself, could there be strangers in the house, my lady? I took out the gun. I shot at the door. Bang, bang, my lady. It was an accident. If Oscar Pistorius had a French accent, he would never have gone to jail. He would have looked the judge straight in the face and been like, bonjour, mademoiselle. I was lying in the bed, it was so comfortable. I heard these noises, I thought to myself, could there be strangers in the house? I took out a gun, I shot at the door, biff, biff. How the fuck do you arrest somebody for biff, biff? You can't arrest somebody for biff, biff. If you got arrested for biff biff and you go into jail and you tell other inmates you got arrested for biff biff, that's when you get bang bang. I'm sorry. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. And the crazy thing, the one thing that I love most about being a coconut is that I always see the world in a duality. There's always two sides to everything that I see. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can look at you, but what you think I'm looking at might be monotone, but for me it's dichotomous. It's split, right? I see the world and I take your perspective and mine at the same time immediately, just like that, right? That's what makes us powerful, right? 7 years ago, I went to this Indian wedding, right? Are there any Indians in the house, actually? Just a little, No, she black. Even with the light in my face, I know that's a nigga. Are you Indian, for real? Both of you? Okay, all right. So you guys will vouch for me when I say this, right? Indian weddings are the most beautiful weddings in the world, right? I get to this wedding. A friend of mine, Adam Buerta, was getting married to this girl called Tharosha Chetty, the most beautiful Indian woman I've ever seen in my entire life. I get to this wedding. It's so beautiful. There's drapes everywhere. There's petals placed ever so nicely. The women are wearing so much gold and silver on their dresses that even when they walked, all you heard was, I'm looking at this wedding, guys, and I'm like, this is the most beautifully arranged, obviously. But it was beautiful, right? It was beautiful. So now, the whole time I'm looking at this wedding, I actually start to think to myself, I want to marry an Indian woman just so I can go through this experience myself. Because I'm Sotho, right? So I'll give you guys a bit of education. As a Sotho person, if I marry a Sotho woman, I've got to pay lobola, I've got to pay for the wedding, I've got to pay for the wedding ring. That's like R500,000. In our culture, we can't have sex until we get married. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine paying R500,000 for a car and they don't give you a chance to kick the tires? That's bullshit, right? That's bullshit. So now I start to fantasize the idea of a Sotho Indian wedding. Because Sotho weddings are beautiful. At a Sotho wedding, we sing. Sotho weddings are like, Daten teke lesen namaren, daten teke les. It is epic. It's epic. If I got married to an Indian woman, do you know how cool this wedding would be? It would go like this. Daten teke lesen namaren, daten teke lesen. Kunumana kapitina, honi mapa, hatikana tukunumai chachi mi mapa, uti malat balbina chak. I think, no, honestly, I think that would be one of the most beautiful weddings in the entire world. The only problem with that wedding is that at some point, someone in my family is going to have to slaughter a cow. Ish. And I don't know how that's going to go down with the Hindu side of the family. I don't think they'll fight it, though. You know Indians don't fight. I mean, how can they when they never have beef? It's weird. And I'm going to apologize here because I know it sounds like I'm teasing you, but I'm not, actually. I'm fascinated by Indian culture. I really am. You know Jewish people? Jewish people in the house? A little shalom? There we go. We got some Jewish people. Jewish people think that they are God's chosen people. I think that's nonsense. I think Indians are God's chosen people. Because God looked at Indians and he was like, I'm going to put... Okay, he doesn't talk like that. I'm going to put you in a country with the best marijuana, the best spices, the most beautiful woman. If you die, I will reincarnate you. I'm going to give you good negotiation skills. But people are going to laugh at the way you talk. I can't give you everything. And I thought about it long and hard, and I was like, why is it that Indians have good negotiation skills? And I figured it out. Indians have good negotiation skills because they invented Kama Sutra. Now think about this. In any negotiation, if I want to make more money from you, I have to screw you over, right? How am I going to screw over somebody who knows 691 ways to fuck me? I'm going into that negotiation ill-prepared. I'm going in there with a blowjob. She's going in there with reverse cowgirl and Gangnam Style. You can't take a blowjob to a gunfight. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And I'm genuinely fascinated by Indian culture. I am. I want to marry a real Indian. You know the kind of Indian woman that goes to Nando's with her own peri-peri. I want a real one. And I know exactly where I'm going to find her. I'm going to find her either in Durban or at the Edgar's Red Dot sale. I know exactly where to find her. Don't act like I'm lying. If there were 10,000 people here, I could literally tell you every single Indian just by connecting the dots. I'm telling you, right now. I love Indian people. I really do. Hey, don't get too excited. I love it when black girls laugh at the Indian jokes because realistically, if it wasn't for Indian women, you wouldn't have nice hair. My baby, if you bought it, it's yours, okay? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love Indian culture. I love Indian culture.